Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So today, I wanted to have a discussion on how some hunters negatively affect other hunters and the academies. There are certain things that some hunters do that really aren't the best for the name of hunters and the academies that they graduate from, and I really wanted to go into that. So, sit back, relax, I hope you all enjoy, and let's go ahead and get started. Hunters are characters that, within the RWBY universe, are seen as heroes, essentially. They are seen as the defenders of peace. They are seen as characters that try to make sure that the citizens of Remnant are safe, that they try to protect them from anything that goes wrong, such as Grimm, or maybe even other individuals that try to attack and harm others. And they do try to protect those citizens to the best of their abilities and try to be selfless. But while there are good hunters out there, there are also some hunters that are very selfish. There are some hunters that really give off a bad name to those hunters that are actually trying to do their best to save humanity from any forces of evil. And for those hunters that don't do their job, that just become hunters for certain reasons, well, they really tarnish the name of the hunters and the academies that they graduate from and that they see as their peers. I mean, when you look at Team RWBY, for example, most of them have their own reasons for becoming huntresses. For example, Ruby, she grew up with fairy tales of heroes and those trying to protect others and trying to do the best they can. And when you look at Ruby's family, she grew up with hunters. Her father and her mother were both hunters, and she looked up to her mother very much so that she wanted to become a huntress herself, like her mother. And when you think about it, if you look at other hunters and huntresses, for example, look at Weiss. Weiss wants to bring respect to the Schnee name that has been tarnished by her own father. If you look at Pyrrha, Pyrrha was actually kind of in the same boat as Ruby, except for she just thought that being a huntress was to serve the people. So when you look at it, each of these characters that we've seen from Team RWBY or Team Juniper, they've had some reason to become a hunter in some way or form. And it seems like, for the most part, they wanted to do it for what seemed to be good reasons. And while this would definitely put respect when it comes towards the hunters, at the same time, there are some hunters that just don't give that respect. They don't have good reasons, like whenever you think about Team RWBY or Team Juniper, for example, to become hunters or huntresses. When it comes down to it, there are some hunters out there that have some of the worst ideas as to why they should become hunters. Some of the ideas that really bring disrespect and dishonor to what it is to be a hunter. Some of them come with malicious intents, more like greed. Some of them come with very selfish intents, just to do it as another job rather than trying to think of the people or just think of how they can get revenge on somebody by having these abilities. When it comes down to it, if you think about these intents or these reasons, well, it would actually make sense as to why some may view the hunters as, well, not the best individuals to try to become, as well as making the academies look bad, considering that the academies would also be the ones to teach these individuals and allow them to become what they do become in the future. Now, of course, it's not the academies that sit over here and say, oh yeah, we know this person has evil intent, so let's just go ahead and have them come into the academy. So you can't really blame the academies for that. But to others, it does reflect upon the academies because they're teaching these individuals and then they go off to become the way they become. And so that does make the academies look bad. If you look at Dee and Dudley, for example, they were just selfish individuals who were just trying to make money. And even Osmond himself stated that he had hoped that Dee and Dudley were two that didn't graduate from Beacon because, well, he had a good reason for thinking that, because that would reflect upon Beacon and kind of really make the academy itself look bad, as well as the hunters that come from Beacon look bad. And this is why I think that Oobleck had good reasoning for trying to question majority of the members of Team RWBY, excluding Ruby, of course, but trying to question them for their intents, why it is that they became huntresses in the first place. I think that that was a very good reason to try to discover why it was that they wanted to become huntresses. And I think that's good for the teachers to try to figure out and try to discover. I think Oobleck was very smart on that one, and that's a lot of the reasons why I really enjoy Oobleck as a character. But at the same time, we do know of some characters that actually did graduate from Beacon that didn't have the best interest. They didn't have the best reasoning to actually become hunters at the end of the day. And that's actually a couple of members of Team Stark when you think back on it, because if you look at Raven, if you look at Crow, neither of them originally had the best intention to actually become hunters. In fact, let's go ahead and look back at Raven, for example. When looking at Raven and how she was telling Yang and Weiss about why her and Crow actually joined the Academies, it was so that they could kill anybody that opposed their clan. Now, while in retrospect, in some degree, that's understandable, but when you think about it, they were bandits. And when it comes to mind the idea of, oh yeah, I did this so I could protect bandits, yeah, that doesn't really bring on a good positive outlook there. Because when you think about it, while Raven did become the leader of the bandits of the Bronwyn camp, bandits aren't the best people to try to protect, seeing that, oh, I don't know, they kind of pillage things and they steal from people and they kill people. I'm just saying, I don't really think that's the best thing to want to protect. But hey, I'm just saying. But yeah, and at the same time, when it comes to Raven and wanting to do this, yes, originally Crow had agreed with Raven, and that was his reason to also become a hunter. But later on over time, Crow realized that that wasn't right, and he believed that Ozpin was actually right. He believed some of the things that Ozpin was telling him, and he thought it would be best to actually try to help better and save the world. And at the same time, Raven still believed that protecting the bandits and protecting their camp was the better idea. But in reality, that doesn't give a good name to hunters at all by any means, and I think that Crow was right for wanting to change his ways, because when it comes to protecting bandits and a hunter or huntress that would be trying to protect bandits, yeah, that doesn't really help. And like I said, since Raven was a character who did graduate from Beacon, this reflects upon that academy, basically stating that, oh, hey, look, we had somebody graduate from our academy. Oh, where are they now? All right, they're protecting bandits. Yeah, maybe not the best thing for them to actually bring up and talk about. And when looking at it, it actually makes sense as to why Hazel feels the way he does about hunters, for example, or Ozpin for that matter, considering that some of the hunters really don't have the best intents. And while there are some that really do tarnish the name of hunters by their own intents, not all hunters are bad, and not all hunters should be viewed in that way. But there are just some out there that really don't have the best intended purposes for becoming hunters, and it can affect how some people view them. But anyways, I'll be back again on Tuesday. Let me know what you think down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, share this video with your friends if you found this informative or useful, and follow me on Discord. Link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow can always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.